Please have a seat. I'll be honest. Your resume is not what I'm used to.
I know.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need a hard worker.
Good. I've got 2 part-time jobs and to help my parents pay the bills.
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find, cultivate, and train a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
My company works with a lot of the partners inside of Graduate Life. But I really do love this commercial. The key takeaway for me is that there was a conflict between what this hiring manager told his recruiters he wanted, a college degree, specific job experience, and maybe a few biases that might not have been mentioned. But with just one question, what do you need? Everything changed. Unfortunately, that person never made it through the selection process to have that interview. Today we'll address why that seat remains unfilled and look at how to change that reality through the lens of our own data, the people that participated in the survey. For-profit businesses have a fiduciary responsibility to be as profitable as they can be and to limit risks.
So sometimes it takes a crisis for them to change. Fortunately, in the middle-skilled jobs market, which make up about 48% of openings in America, we now have that crisis. Now, this has led to 36% of businesses choosing to hire outside of their talent pool and consider candidates without the requisite education and experience. Now, in the video interview, if that interview ever actually happened, what got that applicant considered for the job? Those are the same qualities that are proven to be the main reason people get fired or promoted. It's the difference between what someone in an organization, when they're hiring, needs versus what they want. So why is it that so rarely those qualities are a factor in the hiring process? If they were, don't you think maybe she actually would have gotten that interview? Now, sure, employers try. They include these particular desires for qualities in job descriptions. This particular list of the 10 most commonly posted professional competencies in Colorado job postings was taken from last year's TalentFound report, and we just included them in a single job description to see what it would look like. But how does posting these types of qualities in a job description help you find the right people? Of course you want at least a basic level of proficiency in many of these scores, but has putting them in a description ever kept anyone from applying? Has anyone ever said, oh, they want someone who can solve problems? Well, that's certainly not me. I'm not applying for that job. Has it ever encouraged someone to apply that didn't want to before they read it? Oh, they want someone who's flexible. I never would have thought to apply for this job until I saw that flexibility was something that was desired. No, it doesn't help. It doesn't impact applicants one way or the other in whether they apply or do not apply. Now, is any of this actually actionable for educators out there to evolve their programs to better prepare students to succeed and get those jobs? No, it's really not.
So this is that same list. Look at these great qualities. We'd like to think that it would be a baseline that everybody would have of this, right? But what is wrong with this list? Look at this list and tell me what you see. Is there anything that you think is wrong? Any ideas? It's vague. What else? It's hard to quantify. Like how much of these things? Like creativity. I know some people that are wildly creative. I do not want to work with them. Because they never get anything done. What's that? It's opinion-based. It's opinion-based. And it's also, you could say it's too short, or maybe it's too long, based on your opinion. So, if high levels of proficiency in all these things were required, how would we rank? Let's say high level proficiency being the upper 25 percentile. How would all of us rank? Well, 170 of you, as of yesterday, that's just at a third of this audience, took the parent survey, and we looked at your data. Guess how many of you would score, if that was a job requirement, to be in that upper 25% of this? 1%. 1%, if all of these things were required. So, the problem is that many of these things can't coexist in the same level. So, such as, for this particular group, there's a shocking amount of you, a disproportionate to the rest of the population amount of you, that are incredibly detail-oriented. 57.8% of you probably iron your underwear. But that doesn't often come with high creativity. And I don't want to know about your underwear, okay? So please no one tell me anything. 82.3% of you are actually lower than that high 25% in creativity. There's a seesaw effect on a lot of these types of skills. Now, if we created this as a requirement, employers are just looking for that 1% unicorn, actually with a college degree. But the Colorado Workforce Development Council understood this. Thank God. The Colorado Workforce Development Council. And they set about, in last year's report, to do some research for that report to expand this list. Now, they created a really fairly complete list. Here, it's probably close to 30 things if you add them all up. But if we just increase the list without specificity, we've now increased the problem. Do you really think you're going to find a reliable, dependable risk taker? Right? I run a startup software company. I am one of the two, probably. Now, if we just increase the list without measurements, we're now looking for a multicolored unicorn and not just a regular unicorn. So fortunately, the TalentFound team knew that that was just the first step. So they continued on and said, what if we were to identify the specific qualities of specific jobs? So they invited 200 corporations in the state of Colorado to take the parent survey, have their top performers in the hottest jobs in Colorado, so that we would be able to identify the proficiency levels that are unique to those types of jobs. And believe me, there is a remarkable uniqueness. This is similar to work we did with the Department of Labor. But so you'll understand why this research is happening in using this particular tool. Let me tell you a little about it. 170 of you at least took this survey. It's based on over 60 years of research. It measures over 100 soft skills and mindsets. These are coachable, changeable things. It's not a personality test. Fortunately, it's frowned upon to hire people based on personality, because you're essentially saying, I don't like your kind, which the EEOC is not really fond of that statement. In fact, the original author of the EEOC requirements, Dr. Jim Sharf, is a partner of ours. He is the world's expert witness. He's a great guy to have on your side, because when someone says, hey, you violated EEOC requirements, the guy on the witness stand says, well, actually, when I wrote that, what I meant was, and your case is probably taken care of. So we've done work with the Center for Data Science and Public Policy at the University of Chicago, in partnership with the Department of Labor and the Workforce Data Initiative so that's a big mouthful. I can actually say that 5 times real fast. To map soft skills proficiencies to every ONET job code. So we can dynamically build some gainfully employed profiles. But the great value comes when we do specificity of jobs. So, for example, and I'm going to pull you into this particular thing. This is a profile of one of those jobs. We had a customer that had like multi-hundreds of % turnover in this particular job, and when I describe it to you, you will understand why. It is text-based call centers. So these are the people that you text in the middle of the most frustrating moments of your life in technology, and you can't get someone on the phone, so you default to the text, and so you're now actually angry, and you're texting with a complete stranger who is simultaneously texting 5 other people at the same time. So you text and you go, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? There it is. And they give you a canned answer sometimes. So these people, they were having trouble finding people in that job, and no wonder. Who wants to work in that job, really? Some people do, and they find that that's a good job. Now, what was interesting is that we found that the majority of the applicants that were qualified for this job and would stay in that job were being eliminated in the job interview. Why? Because the hiring managers didn't like them. Because they had to have lower than average emotional self-awareness, lower than average interpersonal skills. They had incredibly low. If you look at these little gold bars, those are the target ranges for the people that have succeeded in that job. Look at the vitality score. This is the desire to squeeze the marrow out of life. They just didn't care. Their life. They probably went home and played video games and texted their friends after 8 hours of texting people. Now, if we look at this, so they were eliminating all these people because they're like, I don't want to work with you. Because you don't fit the profile of the people that I want to work with. But they needed people like this. We found that 5% of the people in their company, mostly low performers in other jobs, were actually qualified for this job, and they should move them. Now, how many of you would actually qualify for this job? Out of 170, that blue line is your aggregate. And with that many people, it makes sense that we would average out to the center. Like if we had 1,000, we'd probably net out, except for your high order score, to about 2 to 3 percentage points of center, because this is a normal survey, right? Now, how many of you out of 170 would actually qualify to get hired for that job? What do you think? Give me a number. Somebody said 0. She's really close. 2. 2. That's 168 of you were actually related. And 2 of you didn't hear what I just said because you're texting somebody. Those look deeper in our own data. So these symbols, if you've logged in, if you took the survey and you logged into the system, you'll see a screen. It'll have one of these at a time, and you can click through it. We give you just this is the free system. It shows you your highest general style. This is kind of related to the way that you think. Your highest motivator or driver, your highest emotional intelligence quotient, your competency, because that's Daniel Goleman's EQ. We replicated that. And then your highest guiding virtue. This is the aggregate of those 170 people, which makes kind of sense. You people are here to get stuff done. You're dynamos, right? And that specialist is your detail orientation, because 57.8% of you are extreme. You're self-confident and lover of justice. I love this, because you people are fighting for the rights of others. Now, if you want to see your own scores, you can go to PAIRIN.com, log in if you've taken the survey, and then you can look at your own scores. And the definitions, like this one, is let me arrange, plan, and work with precision and expertise. Probably about 60% of you I need to come work in my company. Now, whoever took one of this, was any of you a bold communicator? Is anybody a bold communicator? Stand up. Bold communicator there. Can you stand up? Because you're a bold communicator. Great. Can you communicate to us boldly? Something that you saw out of one of those 4 qualities that manifests itself in your work and how?
I'll just say overall I was shocked from simply picking words how accurate the 4 domains seemed when I read through them when I was done.
I don't even know you, but thank you very much. That's wonderful. I feel like I should pay you for something, but thank you very much. It was very bold, and he seems self-confident as well. So does anybody have a quality that they were pleased to see because they have made a concerted effort to work on it and develop it? Anybody see something? Yeah, that. Lover of knowledge. And so you've worked to develop that in your life. She majored in philosophy. So later we'll ask you what you think about being a developer of knowledge. So this is kind of, it's kind of fun. It's parlay games. We can do that kind of thing. I can predict a lot of stuff with this. But there's more to it. Now, these are the qualities. We just kind of did a little analysis of the system, and it picked the qualities of the little bars or the areas where you are most common in this group, most similar. Now, entrepreneurialism is really high. It's a score related to resilience and a bunch of other stuff. There's a lot of business types of things. This is like the get stuff done group. You're very confident. You don't feel a need for outside coaching because you feel pretty good about yourself. You don't care about other people's opinions necessarily to get your work done. You can handle a lot of stress, and you're managing relationships and taking initiative. Now, it's really interesting to me when I talk to people about these types of scores, and I actually had a foundation just a month ago say, well, I'm really concerned. If you do profiles of white people in the workplace, then you're going to create a disadvantageous situation for people of color from disadvantaged environments. Let that soak in for a second. If you measure people that are performing well in a job, then they happen to be white. You're not going to be able to have people that are disadvantaged pass your tests. I felt a little probe in the back of my throat right there. Now, that was a good person. They meant well. They didn't necessarily understand exactly what they were saying, and maybe that was my fault. But we're not measuring what school you went to. We're not measuring what's on your resume. We're not measuring your history or your family. We're measuring your ability to treat people well, to be empathetic, to be resilient, to be a team player. It has nothing to do with your demographics. In fact, when you see people, and we work with a lot of programs, folks that have situations where they are, have more of a troubled past, you certainly do see a larger spectrum. You see more people that are low, but what's interesting is you also see more people that are high in these types of scores. On average, your opportunity youth, as defined, score on average 12 to 15 points higher on resilience, on optimism, on grit, perseverance, than your college-bound suburban white kids. That kind of makes sense if you think about it. Maybe life has developed that in them. But since there is a segment of that population that might have a lot of trauma and need more remediation, we judge the entire group by that small group. If you take out that bottom 25%, this is 4,500, or I think it's 10,000. Opportunity youth, scoring higher than you in entrepreneurialism. Just if you take out the bottom 25%. And some of you might cringe when I say take out the bottom 25%. The reality is that employers have the right to not hire people that will be disruptive to their environment, but they should not discard an entire demographic because of the extreme. And there's organizations like you that can help develop those other groups. Now, what's also interesting is that not only do you have a whole lot of stuff very similar in your work qualities, but you have no similarities whatsoever in your playfulness. These ranges, your self-restraint, there was a 0 similarity. We have a confidence score our system creates, and there's a 0 confidence that you people are the same in self-restraint. There's almost a 0 confidence that some of you in your detail orientation are going to work really, really hard, and some of you in not rest, and some of you really are going to have a whole lot of fun. Your playfulness, you're swimming against the current, and you're willing to be the center of attention. You could not be more different, which is very interesting to me. If you are wanting to develop these qualities, if you're on the bottom end of this thing and you'd like to develop these qualities, you should come here tonight for the Broncos game and probably to the bar afterwards, because there will be a lot of great examples. And possibly some pretty profound YouTube moments that you might want to video. So we have similarities, we have differences. Everybody does. But how does all this impact hiring? Well, the current process is an employer has an opening. Or recruiters ask, what do you want in an employee? And with that information, they make a job description to both attract and filter out applicants. Then they post that job on numerous job boards to reach potentially, these days, like millions of applicants. And then they generate too many applicants to evaluate. So, the larger companies use an applicant tracking system that, did you know, filters out 75% of all applicants before a human being ever sees them. Now, I have a theory that the lack of creativity in corporate America is largely because 80% of Fortune 1000 companies use one of 8 applicant tracking systems to filter those applicants. And if you happen to use a graphic or a fancy font or make your entire resume an image, you will be rejected. The most creative people who need to express themselves on their resume never get a shot in Fortune 1000 companies. We're dumbing down the creativity by science. So, if you're a small business, you don't have one of these things, you spend on average 6.25 seconds per resume. You do a font test too. Or, I probably shouldn't say this, like the state of Colorado, you just cut it off at 75 applicants per job. So there's 3 ways you can actually limit your applicants. So we use also filters like education, experience, and job skills. These are reasonable things, right? But most of them in certain jobs aren't necessary. For example, network administrators, one of the hot jobs in the state of Colorado. Only 20% of network administrators in the country that are gainfully employed have a bachelor's degree, yet 60% of the open jobs require one. Why? Because they have to filter them. Now, if we want greater diversity in our workforce and increase our talent pool, we have to rethink this entire process. What if we just expand our talent pool without doing anything else? So, you start with the same question. What do you want? You create a job description, but you eliminate some of this stuff. You take out bachelor's degree as a requirement, like Google's so famous for, and others. And then not only do you post on those job boards, but you also post on some of these great organizations that work with teen moms, apprentices in high school, people in poverty, and now you generate twice as many applicants. So what do? Instead of 75%, you now filter 95%. Instead of 6.25 seconds, you're not hiring a whole bunch of recruiters to evaluate these things, you now cut it at 3 seconds of resume. Or you just cut it off at 75. But honestly, if you just broaden your view of talent without changing anything else, are you going to change anything at all? But what if you asked a different question? Like in the video, what if you asked, what do you need instead of what do you want? And you were able to evaluate specifically what you need. What if you were to base that not on the type of person, whether they're white or educated or experienced, but the skills that they have that help them be a good employee, not just that got them hired? What if you were able to do that? And then you would have an inclusion chart to identify, regardless of background, those who have relevant skills that can perform like the people that you have. If you do this, you have now de-risked the at-risk hire. And you've changed your process. Then the hiring actually happens in the pipeline instead of the end of the pipeline. You commit to work-based learning. You commit to one-on-one coaching, even if you have to ask some help from others. The companies that use this process have increased their diversity consistently, and they hire people that stay 2.5 times longer than recent college graduates that are job hopping. Now, to recap, the process of inclusive hiring is asking a different question, committing to work-based learning, so you are designing the perfect employee while they're in your employ. Now, I know when I speak. This right here is the corporate headquarters for, in the 90s, the 5th largest software company in the world, a company called Novell. Does anybody know what this is? Anybody seen this? Those people nodding. Is anybody a Nobel certified network engineer? Look at you, God bless you. I got mine in 1991, and it changed my life. It changed everything, though. When you look at me, what do you see? I'm a CEO of a tech startup. I worked in Silicon Valley. White middle-aged guy. What's your bias? Stanford MBA? Is that what you think? Grew up in a middle-class family? Let me tell you about me. I grew up with a dad with PTSD. There was physical and sexual abuse in my family. My sister was adopted Latina. My stepmom was Korean. My half-sister was half Korean. My mom was divorced twice. My stepfather was a practicing bisexual. I grew up as an angry, quite confused child into an angry, quite confused adult. I had to drop out of community college after 2 months because I had to work 4 part-time jobs to support my family and myself. I've been hungry. I've had no prospects until one day I fought to get into the service department of a local computer land in 1985. And I got a compact certificate. On the job training, knew nothing. Then I got an HP certificate, fixed printers. These came out. I knew I wanted to do this, so I got a CNE certificate. 5 years later, I was hired by Nobel. I got good at this. Eventually, I worked at that corporate headquarters, and I ran product marketing for a $1.2 billion product, working directly for Eric Schmidt before he ran Google. I helped write his speeches about the future of the internet. I eventually became chief marketing officer for a fast-growing company, and now I run my own. Workplace learning works. Stacking certificates works. Judging people based on what they look like, based on what their resume says, doesn't. I now have a company that is committed to changing this in employers. We're committed to using whatever resources we have to make education relevant and hiring equitable. And I will, till the day I die, just like you, fight for that. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome to the Sector Center.